The days of storing data in what is basically a glorified set of spreadsheets is coming to an end. It's done. Done. The new hip tech is graph databases. To be clear, I'm not the expert on these. As a matter of fact, I am barely conceiving of what this tech is, but that is how I always start out with new tech. So here's what I know. Graph databases use graph theory to organize data. Right? It determines who's close enough. Relational databases are basically a set of spreadsheets with completely unrelated information stored next to each other. So just because they happen to be created with an ID, an integer ID close to the other one, they happen to be stored next to the other one. It's kind of outdated technology there. Graph DBs instead store data as a network of entities and relationships. Basically, if I understand it right, they learn how to cluster data with similar relationships near relevant data. As opposed to the relational database example, this means data from customer A who has nothing to do with customer B will be centralized near customer A. What does this mean from an infrastructure standpoint? You know me, I want to know how to scale this thing to billions of users without breaking the bank. So I did some Googling on how to shard graph DBs and found the following. Graph sharding is an NP problem anyway, which is much harder than sharding SQL. Which then, of course, I had to Google what an NP problem was to remember what that was. After digging around, there is not one standard way these things scale up. They're each designed differently. I think I'm going to start with just one of these graph database technologies and dig on in with that specifically and then see if I can find a good example. I'll stick with the one that's launching on AWS first. If you happen to be a graph DB expert or know one and want to introduce me, I would love to record an interview with graph DB expert and publish it for everyone's benefit. Please comment, email, DM, send smoke signals if you know anybody that is a graph DB expert. Is it horribly obvious that I'm reading from a teleprompter again, all right? Do I seem like a robot? Oh well, let me know in the comments. Cheers.